Okay, so we are continuing with a series about truth, and tonight is going to be Purim edition. Okay, so I think that's really a deep theme of the holiday of Purim is really that to really be in touch with ourselves and to not be fake people. And I don't know if I told you that the last class, so we got some good like it did better than most of my classes recently, and apparently I was checking in the on the YouTube, the last Tuesday's class, and I was checking on the YouTube thing, like about the video, like what about it that it got popular. So I called it "Fake People," like about how to not be fake, like what's a fake person, and apparently, so for some reason, the video that was what's the word that the video that was promoting my video, that was like saying that would you like this like next on whatever, not that's a different word, but suggesting suggested videos was something from Donald Trump. The Donald Trump one, a video of Donald Trump, and so apparently I don't know. So I don't know if it's the reason why is because he was talking about fake people or he was talking about fake news or something, and that's why fake. Like when you think about fake, you think about Donald Trump, or that some anti-Trump person is working in YouTube and trying to say fake people, Donald Trump. That's like, but I don't know. I happen to think that he's not such a fake person. He's actually a very real person, like to his fault. But he's like too real. But anyway, so we're talking about being real, and I think being real is actually a big part of Purim, because one of the most important mitzvah on Purim is Ad lo yada. The person is obligated to become so intoxicated on Purim that until they don't know the difference between the blessings of Mordechai and the cursing of Haman, and part of this is that usually in life we have certain inhibitions, we have certain natural walls which are holding us back, and on Purim, so these walls are supposed to go down. Like we're supposed to just be free. We're supposed to let ourselves go. I just read that like Rebbe put out you read it? They had some newsletter from an email that you don't look at your emails, and from Gila Mandelson, that she shared that one of the most meaningful parts in her Jewish journey happened on Purim, that she was going to Sam, even though she didn't believe in God and she didn't believe in anything, but
magic touch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's the best.
And she was going out with some boy, and she was at some Purim party, and she asked some yeshiva boy to try to convince her boyfriend to go to yeshiva because like she wants to be on the same page as him, and she saw that like the boy that she asked to convince her boyfriend to come to yeshiva was like drinking and oh boy, like he's gone, but then at some point he started like he came over to her boyfriend at the time, that I don't know the end of the story if that's ended up being her husband or whatever, but she didn't mention that. But he came over to her boyfriend at the time, and he started like talking about God and like life and like nobody's ever, like she's never heard in her life, and just the fact that like all of like our regular inhibitions go down, so like we're just able to be ourselves, and she had never seen such a thing. She'd never seen such a thing, that a person is speaking so truly and so genuinely, so authentically about their soul and their spirituality, and it seemed so real, and it seemed like something that she's never seen in her life. And she said, "Oh my God, I just saw for the first time in my life, I just saw a soul." And so this is like behind the mask, like when we take off all of our disguises, when we tear away all these layers of just trying to be politically correct, so then you can be real, and that's really what Purim is all about. It's really, Purim is that about letting our real essence come through, and that's really expressed in the mitzvah of Ad lo yada. So I want to go back. We spoke last week about one of the aspects of fake people is people that like to show off, people that like other people to validate them, people that like what other people are saying about them, etc. So Rebbe Nachman actually has a very powerful story about this, that it's it's about a Rav, or like a Rebbe. I don't know what exactly that is. A certain person that a rabbi that had a community, and so he davened. Like, it must be a Rebbe because like some Rebbes, they have the custom, like they have like their private room where they daven by themselves. Okay, so he was once davening, and he was davening the Shemona Esrei, and he heard some scratching at the door, some noise by the door. So he imagined to himself, oh my gosh, it must be that my Hasidim are so elated by my davening that they just want to get a glimpse of me davening, so that they'll be able to just come to the next level, and they're so into me that they're gnawing at the doorpost to be able to see through the keyhole, to be able to get a glimpse of me davening. So he started davening with even more fervor and even more shouting and crazy movements, and it's going, and it's just getting like in total bliss and total out of body experience, and then the more he does it, so the more the scratching gets even louder, and he says, oh my gosh, they like it, and he does even more, and like this is going on for 15 minutes. He's just going, and he's hearing the scratching at the door, and he's getting more into it, and at the end of the door, at the end of the Shemona Esrei, so he takes 3 steps back, and he finishes, and then like nonchalantly, as if nothing, as if nothing happened. So like it's time to come back to be with everybody else. So he opens the door, and when he sees that there's a cat. There's a cat scratching at the door. So he the whole time he was like imagining all these Hasidim are. And they're like googly eyed, and they're like the saliva is coming out, and they're just, oh, Rabbi, you're so holy, and that was his motivation to be so holy. So, oh my gosh, and he's doing his part, and the truth is that his Haral Shemona Esrei was to give a good performance for a cat. Okay, so. So Nachman's point was that is the fake tefillah. That was the fakiest tefillah that you could possibly imagine. Is that I think I'm davening with all of these expressions, and I think, and the problem is that he was what?
How do we actually know this story? Because why would this guy admit this story?
It might not be a real.
It wasn't a real story. It was.
I thought it was real.
Yeah.
It could be.
It could be. But this guy, he was sure, as he was davening, he was positive that he really wants to come close to Hashem, and he was positive that there's just that there is something to social pressure when it's a good thing. If everybody's doing something nice, then it's good to I don't want to be the only loser around, so I'm gonna raise myself to their level. That's a nice thing, but it needs to be real. So he thought he was davening to Hashem. He was telling himself that he was davening because he really cares about his relationship with God. But the truth is that it was all for a cat. Right? And his point was that every time that you're davening, every time that you're doing anything, because you care about how other people are observing you, so really you're doing it for a cat. Okay? I mean, how would you feel when you realize that the person who's actually looking at you is actually a cat? So that are you going to feel stupid? So feel stupid now, because that means it's not real. Okay, so this is like the what Rebbe Nachman wants us to know, that part of being a true person, part of being a real person, is that I'm not doing things for the validation from other people, and like we said, that this is really the essence of Purim. This is really the essence of what Adonai Yada is being real people, being people who are really true to ourselves. And
what's the jump though, from being real to not knowing, what's that connection?
Oh no, the point is that the point is that when we intoxicate ourselves, then we can be our real person.
Okay.
The mitzvah of getting drunk is that to be able to be real.
Okay.
Meaning that we're equating
Got it.
being drunk as being able to be our true selves without being politically correct.
Got it.
Okay, and no, the truth is that this is a Gemara in other places as well. It says b'shloisha dvarim adam nimdad. That through three things a person can be assessed. Do you want to know what a person is really made of? There's 3 ways to figure out what he's really made of, and it says bekiso, bekaso, uvakoso. Okay, it's a cute thing in Hebrew because they all start with the letter chaf. That bekiso means with his pocket, which is a reference to how he spends money. Right? Some people that they're your friends until it comes to their wallet. Like when you need their help, like financially, then like sorry, like no, I value our friendship, but there's limits. And that's number one. Bekiso. That like what a person spends money, it's not just being there for you. It's also just how a person spends his money. Where where you put your money. That's a way of saying what you really stand for, what you really believe in. Like where do I want my money to go? That's So that's number one. That's bekiso. Bekaso is when a person's angry. How do you act when you're angry? Like when things don't go your way. So like then like sometimes people are like I find this like just amusing. That sometimes that with Bali Tshuva, that an important part of like I'm all for it. Like an important part of religious life is that a person should feel that I'm an elevated person. I'm a refined person. Part of being refined is that the way I speak, like not to use unrefined language. Okay, not to use like kinds of words that the secular world uses freely, and so all the bleep expletive words so it's not a nice thing. But a lot of times I see Bali Tshuva that like when they get angry, then they revert to their old selves. They like. I was learning with Chavrusa, and like his wife called him up, and their kid threw up, and as she sounds, there is effing puke every effing where, it's amusing. Like I know that she doesn't talk like that. I know that like she's a really sweet girl. But like now she's really annoyed because now there's puke everywhere, and so like just like so when a person gets angry, like then their true self, the true self comes out to a certain extent, and like I'm not saying that you shouldn't fake it. Like fake it till you make it, but she didn't make it yet. she'll make it. She'll make it. I promise you, she'll make it. By the way, if I'm talking about fake it to make it, I have to just mention that this is just an amazing teaching. That the secret of fake it till you make it. I heard this in the name of Joey Rosenfeld. That the secret of fake it till you make it is that there's actually no difference between faking it and making it.
So it's being real.
Everyone is just that to make it means that you fake it very well. That's what it means.
Everyone's just being something.
Mm-hmm. Like you want to be the motivational speaker, and like who am I? So you'll fake it. But the secret is that the motivational speaker, he's also faking it. He just fakes it well.
Just being a motivational speaker.
Right? And so that like look, like when we're talking about fake it to make it, like that's what we're talking about. Like the person that says like how can I do it? Who am I? Whatever. So just fake it. So the truth is that everyone's just faking it, and it's okay. Okay. What?
Still have mitoch shelo lishma balishma. Like they said, eventually we're going to reach the level of maybe Judaism.
Mitoch shelo lishma balishma is talking about motivations. I'm talking about just that you're not even real. You're actually faking it. You're actually putting on a show. So no. So so like with her motivations were good. She had motivations to be a loftier person, to be a more refined person, but it didn't yet connect with her essence. Okay, so your essence comes out. Your essence comes out when you're angry.
So
And
wouldn't that imply that the Rebbe's tefillah is good? Like, that he was, even though his, like, tefillah was tainted by his thinking that he's being watched by others, like...
Because it wasn't authentic.
It wasn't authentic. It wasn't
like,
authentic.
that's the whole thing. Like,
No, I'm saying that
the
you
faking it
fake
is
it till you
not
make
making
it.
authentic.
Fake it till you make it means that don't think that I have to be the I don't know, Knesset member. That like I'll pretend, I'll fake it. I'll pretend that I'm a Knesset member, and then I can be a Knesset member, and that's good. Because if you have what it takes, then you can just fake it, and you'll assume the role. That we're talking about a person that is actually doing something as a lie. I actually just like the salary of a Knesset member, so I'll pretend that I believe in making the country into a better place, and I'll fake it. That's disgusting, right? That's what the Rebbe was doing. The Rebbe was pretending that he cares about God because it looks good to other people. Okay, so that's the second thing, and the third thing is bikoso. Bikoso means with your cup, which is a reference to drinking wine, drinking alcohol. Okay, so that through when a person gets what's the word?
Intoxicated?
No, there's a better word. Intoxicated is an okay word.
Inebriated.
Inebriated. That's what I was looking for. A person gets inebriated, so then their true self comes out, and so really you could say that if one of the important parts of Purim is drinking, so one of the important parts of Purim is being real. Okay, and you'll see that this is like the difference between between holy people and not less holy people is you can see that when they're drunk. Like when a person, like when really, like people that didn't refine their character traits, when they get drunk, they become aggressive, they become violent, they start complaining, they start yelling, they start shouting. When a holy person gets drunk, they're just full of love. They're just full of that. My Rebbe, Rebbe Shmulevitz, he told me once that he remembers when he was a bachar in yeshiva. So he was in yeshiva together with Rav Noach Weinberg from Eshet Torah, and he remembers Noach Weinberg being like 19 years old, and just walking around, and he was just full of love. Like the thing in his heart was just love for every Jew. So he was like the whole Purim, he was just giving everybody hugs, and like that was his real self. So like in usual life, so it's not politically correct to just walk around giving everybody hugs, right? But on Purim, so all these walls come down, and then it's politically correct to give same gender hugs. Okay? So this is really like a main theme of the holiday of Purim is really this topic of being real. So now when we're talking about being real, so the opposite of being real is trying to fit in, trying to like get the validation from other people, and you could say that one of the pioneers, one of the champions of midas emes, of this midah, this character trait of truth, being a truthful person, was the Kotzker Rebbe. And so the Kotzker Rebbe, like they stood for truth. They stood for being real. They stood for like nothing fake, nothing like for like because it looks good, because it looks holy. The story when the Kotzker himself, when he was a bachar, he was a kid. So on Shabbos, so everybody was, I don't know exactly what the situation was. There was some good food. There was some good food. And,
Fill in the blank of good food.
yeah, what's here?
Lamb
Oh no, Quran. This is 200 years ago Europe.
Really good
This
potato.
is, you know what yapchik is?
Oh, I love it.
Yapchik is this new food that they invented. It's a very yeshivish new food. It's potato cocoa together with meat. That's a new yeshivish.
New?
I think so. I never heard of it. But when I was a kid, they didn't have such a thing.
Oh, really?
So they were giving out this yapchik, let's say, okay, and everybody's saying, and everybody's taking it, the Kavod Shabbos Kodesh, and the next guy says, the Kavod Shabbos Kodesh, takes the next guy is Kavod Shabbos Kodesh, and then it was when they passed it to the Kotzker Rebbe, but he was a Kotzker kid, of Menachem Mendel, so Kotzker kid, like, sounds like a rapper, right?
Were they all Kutzker
So
kids?
what?
Weren't they all Kutzker kids?
So he says, "Lekavod man boich," means like in honor of my stomach. Everybody looked at him like it was, oh, shake it. So like, and like, but he was being honest. Like he wasn't just being honest. He was really calling out everybody else. That like that you guys, you're so full of it. Like you guys, you're pretending that you're just doing it for your neshama. You're pretending that you're just doing it because you're so holy. But like everybody knows that you just enjoy it like everybody else. You're just a regular human being, and you enjoy it because it's a good yapshik. And so don't make it like you're so holy. Like you're not being holy. You're just being regular, and be honest with yourself. Okay. There's Rav Hutner. Rav Hutner was when I was like he passed away when I was alive in my lifetime. He was like he was Rosh Yeshiva of Chaim
You
Berlin
were alive.
in my lifetime. And I'm saying like as opposed to the Kotzker Rebbe that was 200 years ago. So like he's a modern day, even though he's not alive now, but like he's a modern day role model. And so he was on at a wedding, and so the waiter asked him, "Would you like?" I told you the story. But would you like schnitzel or would you like chicken or schnitzel? Okay, meaning a piece of chicken, so you guys should know because are you American? Yeah. I thought maybe you're Canadian. I'm not sure if you know this, but actually schnitzel is actually tastier than chicken. Okay, so but chicken is like looks more respectable because like schnitzel is more like a kid's food because it's so tasty. So the waiter asked Rav Hutner, "Would you like chicken or schnitzel?" So he says, "Gaiva to taiva." Okay, gaiva means arrogance. Okay, so and taiva means lust. Okay, so it's like two bad character traits. It's like one like so. Gaiva to taiva. Should I take chicken because that'll be the more arrogant thing to say? Because like I was like, ooh, I'm a respectable Rosh Yeshiva. Or taiva, like I like. I crave schnitzels, and so gaiva to taiva. Give me a little taiva. I'll take a little lust. You know, I'm willing to be honest with myself. I'd rather admit to myself that I'm a regular human being and I like schnitzel like everybody else, than pretend that I'm this like holier like respectable person that doesn't. Somebody told me that in their father's house, they're millionaires, and so in their father's house the only beverages that they have in the house is fine wines and water. There's no like obviously, of course it's fancy water. It's like $20 bottle of water, but like it's like but there is no such thing as cola. There is no such thing as orange juice. There's no such because that's because we're respectable people, and that's not the way we do it. That's not fine class. It's so fake. It's so garbage. Come on, like just be be normal. Be honest with yourself. Like you like Coke like everybody else. So
it's like those mom influencers who dress their kids in like beige and have like wooden toys for aesthetic purposes.
Okay, so the Kotzker, he was the champion of being real. Okay, and the Kotzker has a famous quote that you might have heard of, but it's very, very deep and it's very, very true. And it goes like this: if I am I because you are you, and you are you because I am I, then I am not I and you are not you. Again? Okay. If I'm I because you are you, and you are you because I am I, then I am not I, and you are not you. Okay, meaning that some people that they define themselves relating to other people. Meaning that what I am is that I'm the opposite of you. So that's how I define myself. And you look at me and you define yourself, that I want to be the opposite of him. So if the way I define myself is that I'm a response to you, and the way you define yourself is as a response to me, so I'm not really me, and you're not really you. Okay? So in other words, that an element of fakeness is to forget about who I am and focus on what I'm not. Okay, and this is a very deep thing. Like in terms of trying to figure out how do I become real? How if I want to be a real person? Somebody posted on the YouTube video of last week that what do I do if I feel like I've been disconnected from myself? So like one exercise that we can try with ourselves. If we want to be real with ourselves, we want to really make sure that we're being real, is when we define ourselves, to stop asking ourselves, what am I against, and to start asking ourselves, what am I for? And this is actually it's actually very dangerous. It's a dangerous habit of people to connect on what we're against.
It's so much fun though.
Women love doing that.
Mm-hmm.
We love complaining together.
Uh-huh.
We bond.
Okay, that's how you think you're bonding. But you're actually not bonding. You're actually not bonding. Mm-hmm. And because when you're connecting on what you're against, this is the lie. This is the lie of lashon hara, of gossip. That when you team up with your friend against the other guy, so then you have this illusion of coming together. But you're really not coming together, because the fact that you're against somebody doesn't actually make you together. Okay, and there's like, I know somebody that she has this friend group, and like it's like the thing that she connects with them is only that they both hate somebody else, and so as much as they're complaining about the other person, so they're able to like to have a connection. But the truth is that she has nothing to do with them, and the truth is that like they have nothing in common. The only thing they have in common is that they hate somebody, and that's not enough of a connection. Like if you like if you imagine like marrying somebody that you're both passionate. You're both passionate about the fact that you're both passionate that you both hate Chinese food. You hate Chinese food with a passion. Okay, so there's only so much that's going to get you. Life. Okay.
You will not eat Chinese food.
I got it. We're like let's. So every time you pass a Chinese restaurant, you'll have something to talk about. But the rest of your lives, you don't believe. You don't have anything in common. There's no shared interests, no shared values, and you can't build a relationship because you both hate Chinese food. And like, unfortunately, this is the danger of lashon hara. This is, if you're calling this a feminine problem, so then be warned that it's not going to get you real friends. That being against somebody is not going to get you anywhere, and that's part of being fake. Part of being fake is that I'm me because you are you. Okay, meaning that I define myself that I'm an anti-vaxxer, I'm an anti-Haredier, I'm an anti-Chilonier, I'm an anti. Like I define myself with what I'm against. If I define myself with what I'm against, then I haven't yet asked myself, who am I? Okay, that's precisely what it means. That am I because you're you. I mean that I define myself based on what I'm against. Okay, and that's called not being in touch with myself. Okay, and so the thing is that the source of these people, that they love to gossip, they love to complain, they love to gang up, to be anti something. So the source of the problem is that they don't really know who they are. They never really ask themselves, like, what do I really believe in? What are actually my values, and what actually makes me tick? And that's really what's holding them back. Okay. Now, this danger of becoming a fake person, like never really getting in touch with myself. So first of all, it's a lot of it starts with simply that we aren't really in touch with ourselves. That we need to grasp some kind of identity, because we don't really have our true identity. So we need to grasp onto something. So we grasp onto these fake identities of what I'm against. So another fake identity is this has to do with shidduchim a lot. Is the people they tend to mix up between what I want / appreciate and what I need. Okay, meaning that they have some image of themselves that this is the kind of person that I would like to be, and it's always something superficial. It's always like what am I looking for in a spouse? So I'm looking for a kind of person that they can make a certain amount of salary, that they are that they're savvy, that they know how to dress, that they can give a really, really amazing Dvar Torah, that's also a superficial thing, that's what they're looking for. That's what they're looking for, and really what they need is really something else entirely. They need somebody that really cares about them. They need somebody that's going to help them out when they need a break. They need somebody who's willing to prioritize them and to take off from work when you need their help, they need somebody who's going to be loyal. They need somebody who's going to have time for them. They aren't open to themselves. They aren't true to themselves with what they're looking for, and they end up marrying the wrong person because they never really ask themselves these real questions. What do I really need? And once again, the same in the Rav Hutner story, that why in the Katzker Rebbe, these people, the Katzker Rebbe was saying the lakavat mein boich, that I'm eating the food because I like because my stomach likes it, or Rav Hutner that was saying that I'll have a little taiva. So why were they so amazing, so admirable in doing this? Because they were real. Everybody else was not willing to be honest themselves because they thought that it's embarrassing to be human. Okay, so because the person is not willing to accept the fact that I'm human, is not willing to accept the fact that I don't have to be embarrassed to be human. So that's why I ignore my human needs and I put on these fake needs, which is really things that aren't needs at all. They're simply things I would prefer, but it's not if you, and it causes me to really make bad decisions when it comes to life. Okay, so this is the second thing. The first thing is that never to ask myself at all what I want, just ask myself what I don't like. And the second thing is that like one step closer, after I peel off this lie of what other people want, so then I get to what I would like to like because I'm not honest with myself, because I feel like a loser to need somebody that's gonna really have time for me, because what, I'm needy? I'm not needy, that's not. And yeah, you're human, so humans have needs. And to be honest with yourself that you, with boys, there's this lie that they tell themselves that if you're really close to Hashem, then your values are spiritual, and how dare you say that I only want to marry a pretty girl, right? So so they'll tell themselves that, yeah, I just care about what she looks like on the inside, and they'll convince themselves that, yeah, I'm a holy person. I'm not an animal that cares about, and and that's called being fake, because like sorry to burst their bubble, but they're also human. And like and the physical attraction is an absolute necessity. Like I'm sure it's probably for girls too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
He agrees.
yeah, he agrees. Yes. So that to tell yourself that I'm a spiritual person, so I don't have those animalistic desires of wanting to marry somebody who's good looking. That's called being fake. Okay, that's called not being true to yourself. And so even within myself, like when I ask myself, what do I like? Not what I don't like, but what I like. But I like the things which I would like to like, as opposed to the things that I actually like, or you could say need. Okay, that's the second problem. The second thing holding us back from being our true selves, and the third thing which is holding us back from being our true selves is simply that we never asked ourselves, that we're scared, that we're scared of being anybody. We're scared of what might lie inside. We're scared that this is really like, it ties back to the first thing of like the reason why we paint ourselves these fake pictures of what we would like to be is because we're scared of what we might find if I'm going to be true to myself. Okay, and this is really a problem. It's really a problem. That's I told the Neve girls the other day that there was a girl that went out with some boy, and she came back to the shadchan, and she said I had to go. I said he's amazing. He would do anything for me. He would do anything for me. Like, what do you mean he would do anything for you? Like whatever I said. Like, what do you think about? What do you think? Like, would you want to live in Israel? You want to live in America? He said, whatever you want. And he said, do you want to be Haredi or Maranatha? He said, whatever you want. And he said, do you want to live in the city or live in the suburbs? He said, whatever you want. And he said, do you want to have a pet? Whatever you want. And like he's great. It was like, it's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, like, this is the man of my dreams. He'll do anything for me. And so the shadchan said, I'm not sure if that's really if you're really assessing the situation. It sounds to me like he doesn't have any opinions about anything. It sounds to me that he's actually a nobody. Are you sure that you want to marry a nobody? Okay, so that we can sometimes, in the name of being agreeable, we can actually like validate our being a nobody, and say like, yeah, I'm being such a tzaddik. I'm so righteous that I just give in to other people. And the truth is that it's not that I'm being righteous. It's just that I'm scared to ask myself. I'm scared to be honest with myself. I'm scared of what I might find. I'm scared to look at myself in the mirror. Right?
I have a question.
Like I can look into the sun, but never in the mirror. Right? Yeah.
This might, I don't know. Okay, let me just try to ask it. Like, I don't get which parts of myself are like just my mind or just my like genetics, and which parts like my soul. Like, am I like really like my beliefs and preferences and habits and like the voice in my head, or like I don't know, I just don't know what is like me, like the core
Like your
neshama
essence?
part, yeah, versus what is just like my nature, my like, because I was born in this body and have this brain and have these, genetics, that like what part is
It's all you. It's all you. Your
What
genetics.
about, like, social conditioning?
To a certain extent, that's also you.
So what's the point of asking what's being real if everything is like real and
No, some things.
what's the extent? Like
No, some things
what's
are
not
fake.
real? Okay, so what's
Like there's different kinds of social conditioning, right? There's some kinds of social conditioning. Like the truth, it's very simple. Like it doesn't have to be a complicated question, because some parts of social things are really part of us, and some things are not really part of us. Meaning that there's some parts of social conditioning that a person was brought up with a certain kind of music, and so like that's like that really does it for them, and they really connect with that music, and then they learn that that's considered Goyish music, and like that you're going to go to hell because you're learning to Goyish music, and so like I think that person that's going to feel deprived because they don't have the Goyish music, that's called that they're being not true to themselves. Okay, whereas a person that like feels with like I don't know with like I hear a lot of times with regarding modesty with girls, that like they were socially conditioned to dress themselves, to objectify themselves, and to dress in a way that's constantly going to be sexually stimulating everybody around them, and like they finally feel like, phew, like now I can just be me. Like I have to, it's actually like it's actually comforting. It's actually just relieving to be. There's finally that like that's an example that they were socially conditioned to do something that never really felt right, and just now they feel relieved. Now they feel they can be themselves. So
is
this
the relief like a sign that that's the real you?
Exactly. If you feel relieved when you don't do it, just like if you feel relieved, if you break up with a boy or girl, so if you feel relieved after you break up, that's a sign that it was a good thing that you broke up, right?
But like some bad habits we just like and crave, like the Lashon Hara thing, like like I could see myself considering, oh, that's like just kind of part of my personality, and I just love to connect on like mutual hate and stuff like that. Like that I could see myself convincing myself that that's like
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I think that ultimately, when we have true things to connect on, there's no need. There's no lacking. You'll never feel when you're connecting with your friends on true things. You'll never feel after the conversation, oh, I feel so bad that we didn't get to gossip today, because you felt. Just this morning, I took my son to the American embassy to get his American passport, and on the way back, I met a friend of mine from Nachman, and it was pouring. It was pouring. I got soaked, this friend, he was telling me that he was just bringing his daughter to her gan, and because I think this is like he's right now he's engaged. I think for the fourth, he's divorced 3 times, and this is his 4th time, and so this particular ex-wife of his is like trying to ruin his life and trying to repossess his things. So he needs to work very hard, but he needs to use a different account, and like she's trying to whatever. And anyway, I heard on the phone that he was like telling somebody else regarding this and this, I wish I could help you, but I happen to be broke at the moment, so I can't really help you. But B'ezras Hashem, it'll be good and whatever. He says, and anyway, meanwhile, he tells me that this crazy rain, like I feel like I just moved and I had a bunch of furniture outside, and all my furniture just got ruined. And so, but he said, but it's okay, you learn in life, like not to get too attached to the small stuff, not to get too attached. Like Hashem will send me a new sofa. I thought it was stuff that wouldn't actually get ruined, like whatever. He said, it was a sofa. He said, don't worry. I told him, don't worry, it'll dry. but he said, and then he said something which has really, really shook me. He said, once you have real things in life, so then you don't feel the need to get attached to the fake things. Like he has real things in life. He has a daughter. He has a fiance. He has real things. That when you have real things, he has Hashem. He has Torah. Like when you have real things, then you don't need to feel attached to the fake things. There's like, okay, I lost the sofa. Whoop-de-doo. Hashem will send me another sofa. In his words, he always does. It's beautiful. I was telling this to my, as soon as I came back from that, I went to my chavrusa, and my chavrusa told me, by the way, I have an extra sofa my mother is trying to get rid of the sofa, and if he needs a sofa, tell him to call me. I'll give him my sofa. Hashem already sent him his sofa. Yeah. But I think it's crazier. I think it's crazier that he wasn't attached to a sofa. I think I think it's beautiful that Hashem sent him a sofa, but I think it's crazier that he actually wasn't attached to his sofa because in his words, because he had real things in his life.
That's probably why Hashem sent him his sofa.
Nachman. So I really think that you're not gonna that a person that's gonna really feel deprived and resentful in the fact that they can't eat shrimp anymore. So that means that there's something missing in your life. Like if you really feel so attached to speaking Lashon Hara or eating shrimp or whatever it is that you're struggling with, so that probably means that you're lacking really meaningful things in your life, because this is really the little stuff, So this is so part of the thing. Part of what's holding us. So part of what's holding back is really that we never really felt ourselves with anything real. We never really asked ourselves, "What am I?" And it didn't really. I never really took the effort to try to figure out who I really am. So this is what Gil Mandelson calls that emotional autonomy. Emotional autonomy means to be in charge, to be autonomous of my emotions, to really be honest with what do I want, what do I think. So this is a real thing about Purim. I've said many times that a person is really confused. So journaling is a great way to just get in touch with what's inside, and just to ask yourself what do I like, what am I, not to focus on what I'm not to focus on what to ask myself, to have real conversations with myself of what I really want. The Rebbe Nachman writes in Torah Kuf Yud Bet. He writes, "V'maskel hamevin," person who really understands, "yesh lo litpalel kol yamav." It's worthwhile for him to daven his entire life, sheyizkeh, that he should merit, pam achad kol yamei chayav, even one time in his entire life, ledaber dibor echad shalamet lifnei Hashem, to speak one word of truth before God.
Why so little?
Because it has to be really, really real. That to really, really get to our deepest essence is so hard that it's something that we need to work on, and we need to constantly beg that, because sometimes it's so easy to be almost true, but a little bit lying, and a little bit doing because that's what our social pressures are, and a little bit doing it because that's what I would like. I want this, and it's to be really, really true is something that we need to work on. I heard somebody told me the name of her name is Noah. I forgot. She was breast liver, and she was married to a guy named Yuval Dayan, who was also breast liver. She wrote a book called Mikimi, if anybody heard of it.
A guy named Yuval Dayan?
Yeah, right. And also, not the same. Yuval Dayan is also a religious singer, but there was a guy, a breast liver guy, Yuval Dayan, and he went off the derech and they got divorced. But she's still a breast liver, and so she told somebody that one time when she was giving birth, so she was screaming. She was in so much pain, and so she told her husband afterwards that I think during the labor, I think that for a couple of seconds I actually was speaking Diborei Meshalamet. I think that from that, and this also really gets us back to Purim, because one of the things that can really help us to be real is crisis. Okay, the crisis helps us to be real. I mean, we have like a lot of fakeness when everything is nice. So then it's easy to be fake, right? And some of the things, it's like that one of the things that actually helps us to have a reality check is crisis. Okay, and it's not just crisis. It's really crisis is an example of a real situation, like a situation that like there's no room for garbage. When there's a crisis, like we can't. And that's why it's also like when our real selves come out during crisis, and you have people that like these crazy Holocaust stories of people that through the crisis of the Holocaust they showed these literally superhuman powers of care, of selflessness, of giving their portion to the person in need, of giving their, like, helping the crazy stories of like the risking their lives on a regular basis for like things that in peaceful times you would never imagine such greatness. And so crisis is really something that can really bring a person's true essences out, and that's really what happened with the story of Purim. That the Gemara says that Gedola Hasaras Tabas Yoser Mi Memches Neviim V'Shmana Nevios. That Hashem had his ways of trying to get us to be better. So he sent prophets. He sent 48 prophets and 8 prophetesses, and they all tried to get us to be better, and it didn't work. But so what did he do? He gave the ring from Achashverosh to Haman. The Haman was able to decree upon the Jews to destroy them, and that helped us to get our act together. That helped us to. It's just a reality check. That like whoa, this is real. This is real. It's so when crisis comes, when things are crazy, so it helps us to become really in sync with what we really want. There's a book, I never saw the book, but I heard about this, that Michael J. Fox, so he was a famous actor. You've heard of him, right? Back to the Future, other stuff. And so he developed ALS. Okay, not Parkinson's. Yeah, Parkinson's? I thought it was Parkinson's? Okay. This disease, so it started like he wasn't able to work anymore, and he started to, like, he wasn't able to, all the things that did it for him, so it stopped doing it for him anymore. He wasn't able to be in his fancy cars. He wasn't able to be in his fancy parties. He wasn't able to hang out like in the same way that he was before, and it forced him to reassess what he wants to do, like what's my life all about. And he started being more of a philanthropist, and started being like talking about important things, and he wrote an autobiography. It's true, and the book is called The Best Day of My Life. And in this autobiography, he refers to the day that he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease as the best day in his life, because this is the only thing that could have stopped him. I was going on this full speed ahead to a life of emptiness, and the only thing that could have stopped me was to this shock of being like no, you're not going there anymore. And so this is really so a crisis can sometimes help us to have a reality check, and we don't ask for crises, but like crises, but like a war is something that can really help us to just have a reality check, like what is real. When like on the other hand, a nicer example is that I mentioned this in a class about this about intermarriage, that there was a woman that Judaism meant absolutely nothing to her, and she was she was sure that she couldn't care less about the fact that she's Jewish, and she married a non-Jew, and they agreed about it, and he also didn't care about his religion. We don't care about religion. That's the way we are, and and they got married, and she had a baby, and the first time that she looked at her baby in the eyes, she swore to her baby that she's going to raise her to be a Jew. And this is like out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. There's like her whole life she had been lying to herself that I don't care about my Judaism. And then suddenly, at this moment of truth, so it brought out something really real inside of her that she does want to be Jewish. And that's exactly what Hashem was doing with the story of Purim. And so this is why the holiday Purim is all about being real. So, God bless us that we should really be able to really get to the right place, to the healthy place of being in touch with our true selves, knowing what the part of us is so beautiful. And I forgot to mention that I think that the part of what's holding us back from being our real selves is this fear of like, what am I going to find? And so the Torah comforts us and says, don't be afraid. You are wonderful. You are amazing. Your soul is so beautiful. It's so infinite. The world is waiting to see your awesomeness. And so, like, don't hold back. Don't hold back. Like, we don't want another nobody. We want to see your amazing, amazing light. And just believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, then there won't be anything to be scared of, and you'll be able to be somebody that the world will appreciate. And this is true on a national level as well. That Shlomo Kavach would say that the world is waiting for the Jews to be Jews. The world, every time that really, if we would really be our true selves, so then the world would look up to us, and they would want to emulate us. They would want us to run the world. And the problem is that every time that we stand up to the world, so we make like we sound like politicians, and like, Jews, we've got enough politicians. We don't need your politics. If we would stand up for what we believe, if we would stand up for the truth, so then they would really appreciate it, and that'll be the Geula, B'ezrat Hashem. So this is what Purim is reminding us, that to not be afraid of ourselves, to not be intimidated by what everybody's going to say, to believe in the truth of our essence, and to let it go, to glide, B'ezrat Hashem. L'chaim, l'chaim.